Matilda, 1996, was a childhood favorite for many, bringing Roald Dahl's beloved story to life with magic, mischief, and heartwarming moments. From Mara Wilson's unforgettable performance as the gifted Matilda to Pam Ferris's terrifying portrayal of Miss Trunchbull, the cast left a lasting impression on audiences. But nearly 3 decades later, where are they now? Some stars have stepped away from the spotlight, while others have faced personal struggles, career changes, or even heartbreaking losses. As we enter 2025, let's take a look at what has happened to the cast of Matilda after 29 years. Paul Reubens played an FBI agent in Matilda, 1996, at 44, portraying a sly and relentless investigator determined to expose Mr. Wormwood's fraudulent business. Best known for creating the quirky and beloved Pee Wee Herman, Reubens was once a household name, but his career took a devastating hit after his 1991 arrest, leading to public humiliation and professional exile. Though he made attempts at a comeback, including roles in Mystery Men, 1999, and voice work in The Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993, he never regained his former status. He never married or had children, instead living a largely reclusive life, struggling with depression and personal battles that remained mostly hidden from the public. Diagnosed with cancer, he kept his illness secret until the end, dying alone on July 30, 2023, at 70. His death, while mourned by fans, was tinged with the same melancholy that had followed him for decades, a man who made the world laugh but who, in the end, faced his greatest challenges in solitude. Jean Speegle Howard played Miss Phelps in Matilda, 1996, at 69, bringing warmth to the role of the gentle librarian who nurtured Matilda's love of books. A talented character actress, she worked in Hollywood for decades but was often overshadowed by her famous son, director Ron Howard. Her marriage to actor Rance Howard lasted, but it was not without sacrifice. She put her own career on hold for years to support his and raise their children. As she aged, she suffered from multiple health issues, including heart and respiratory complications, which severely limited her ability to work. In her final years, she watched her family's success from the sidelines, feeling both pride and the quiet pain of a life spent in the background. She passed away on September 2, 2000, at 73, her contributions largely unrecognized beyond her family, her name fading into obscurity as the industry moved on. Danny DeVito played Mr. Wormwood in Matilda, 1996, at 52, embodying the dishonest, neglectful father with exaggerated charm and cruelty. A powerhouse in Hollywood, Danny built a career out of playing larger-than-life characters, but behind the scenes, life was not always so kind. His marriage to actress Rhea Perlman, once one of Hollywood's most enduring relationships, fractured over the years, plagued by long separations and deep-rooted differences that led to their eventual split. Though they never formally divorced, their partnership dissolved, leaving him to navigate old age largely alone. His health began to deteriorate in his later years, with heart problems and mobility issues limiting his once boundless energy. He continued working out of necessity, unable to fully retire despite his fortune. In 2025, at 80, he is still alive, but his days of comedic brilliance are long behind him, replaced by the quiet ache of solitude and the creeping realization that the industry moves on, even from its legends. Mara Wilson portrayed Matilda in Matilda, 1996, at the age of 9, bringing to life the brilliant and kind-hearted girl with extraordinary powers. The role should have been the beginning of a dazzling Hollywood career, but for Mara, it was a curse more than a blessing. After her mother died of cancer just months after the film's release, Mara withdrew from acting, unable to reconcile her grief with the demands of fame. Adolescence was unkind. She struggled with anxiety, depression, and an overwhelming sense of isolation, watching from the sidelines as her former co-stars moved on to bigger roles while she faded into obscurity. Relationships were difficult. She never married, her distrust of the industry extending into her personal life, leaving her wary of emotional vulnerability. Now, at 37 in 2025, she lives quietly, far removed from Hollywood's glare, still carrying the weight of a past she can never fully escape. Embeth Davidtz portrayed Miss Honey in Matilda, 1996, at age 31, bringing warmth and quiet strength to the role of Matilda's compassionate teacher. Having previously gained recognition in Schindler's List, her career showed promise, but Hollywood's fickle nature kept her from reaching true stardom. Though she secured roles in The Amazing Spider-Man and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, her career never flourished as expected. She married entertainment lawyer Jason Sloan and had 2 children, but personal battles overshadowed professional success. In 2013, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, undergoing a double mastectomy that left her physically and emotionally scarred. Though she survived, the disease altered the course of her life, forcing her to step away from acting for long periods. Now 59 in 2025, she maintains a quiet existence, making occasional appearances but largely staying out of the public eye. Rhea Perlman played Mrs. Wormwood in Matilda, 1996, at age 48, embodying the gaudy, neglectful mother who prioritized vanity in television over her daughter's brilliance. Best known as the sharp-tongued Carla in Cheers, she thrived in the 1980s, but as Hollywood's interest in older actresses waned, so did her opportunities. Her long marriage to Danny DeVito was marked by turmoil. Despite having 3 children, Lucy, Grace, and Jacob, the couple separated multiple times, struggling to reconcile their differences. Though they never officially divorced, their relationship remained strained, creating an emotional limbo. Rhea found it difficult to transition to meaningful roles post-Matilda, her career reduced to minor guest appearances and voice work. She struggled with loneliness as the industry moved on without her, the lively sets replaced by quiet isolation. Now 77 in 2025, she lives privately, far from the bustling career she once knew. Pam Ferris played the terrifying Miss Trunchbull in Matilda, 1996, at age 48, delivering a performance that remains one of cinema's most unforgettable villains. A talented character actress, she built a career playing formidable women in projects like Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban and Call the Midwife. Despite her success, she never attained the recognition she deserved, often relegated to supporting roles. She married fellow actor Roger Frost, but their decision not to have children left her grappling with private regrets. In her later years, tragedy struck. She suffered a devastating stroke that left her with severe mobility issues, abruptly halting her acting career. Once a commanding presence on screen, she was now confined to a much quieter existence, struggling with declining health. The industry moved on, and her absence was barely acknowledged. Now 76 in 2025, she lives in relative seclusion, her days far removed from the fierce. Tracy Walter played an FBI agent in Matilda, 1996, at 49, a character both relentless and comedic, adding a bumbling sense of menace to the Wormwood family's troubles. A seasoned character actor, Walter built a reputation with roles in Batman and Repo Man, but never broke into Hollywood's elite. The life of that guy actor proved grueling. Financial instability, lack of recognition, and a constant fight for roles left him exhausted. His personal life mirrored the instability of his career. Never marrying, he drifted through relationships that never lasted, unable to maintain the kind of connection that could anchor him. His later years were marked by severe financial distress, as health issues drained what little savings he had accumulated. The industry that once embraced his eccentric charm had no place for an aging character actor, leaving him destitute and forgotten. By 2025, at 77, he lives in near poverty, dependent on meager residuals and occasional fan conventions to survive. R.D. Robb played Roy in Matilda, 1996. He was 24 years old when he took on the role. Roy was one of the mischievous and playful students at Cruncham Hall, often getting into trouble but always with a good heart. Robb had an early start in Hollywood, appearing in The Sandlot before Matilda, but despite these childhood successes, his acting career never reached great heights. Typecast and overlooked, he struggled to secure meaningful roles, leading him to transition behind the camera. His personal life was no less turbulent. His longtime girlfriend left him after years of emotional distance, and he never married or had children. Estranged from much of his family, he found himself isolated, haunted by past failures in an industry that had long forgotten him. His descent into depression led to substance abuse, exacerbating his health problems. In 2025, he is 53 years old, living in near anonymity, occasionally taking minor voiceover jobs to survive. Phoebe Pearl was just 7 when she played young Miss Honey in Matilda, 1996, a fleeting role that barely registered in the grand tapestry of the film. Unlike her castmates, she pursued a career in the arts, not as an actress but as a dancer. She found her way into the Rockets, her body becoming her instrument, her life dictated by the punishing demands of professional dance. But the world of dance is merciless, injuries came, opportunities faded, and by her 30s, she found herself at a crossroads, her once reliable body failing her. Her personal life was a series of disappointments, love affairs that burned out quickly, a yearning for stability she never found. By the time she turned to acting again, Hollywood had no place for her. In 2025, at 35, she continues to seek her purpose, a woman caught between the past and the present, forever searching for a spotlight that no longer shines for her. Kiami Davael portrayed Lavender in Matilda, 1996. She was 10 years old when she started the role. Lavender was Matilda's best friend, known for her adventurous spirit and loyalty. Though her role in Matilda brought her brief fame, her acting career quickly fizzled, with only a handful of minor television appearances before she disappeared from the spotlight. She attempted to reinvent herself as a writer and singer, but every attempt was met with rejection. Her personal life was marred by heartbreak. Her engagement ended in betrayal when she discovered her fiancé had been unfaithful, leaving her disillusioned and unwilling to trust again. She never had children, a painful reality she rarely discusses. Financial hardships forced her to take low-paying jobs outside the entertainment industry, and she struggled with depression and anxiety. In 2025, she is 38 years old, living in obscurity, clinging to the memories of her brief moment in the limelight. Kira Spencer Cook portrayed Hortensia in Matilda, 1996. She was 13 years old when she started the role. Hortensia was a rebellious and outspoken student who often stood up to Trunchbull's tyranny. After the film, Cook drifted away from acting, occasionally working behind the scenes but never finding lasting success. Her personal life was filled with instability, her marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and she struggled to maintain a healthy relationship with her 2 children, who resented the financial struggles they endured. She worked tirelessly, taking on multiple jobs just to provide for them, but the stress took a severe toll on her health. Diagnosed with a chronic illness in her 30s, she found herself unable to work as much, leading to mounting medical debt and further alienation from friends and family. In 2025, she is 41 years old, exhausted from years of hardship, living in near solitude, her rebellious spark long extinguished by the weight of life's disappointments. Jacqueline Steiger played Amanda Thripp in Matilda, 1996. She was 10 years old when she took on the role. Amanda was a sweet and innocent student who often found herself on the receiving end of Trunchbull's wrath. Steiger's acting career was short-lived, and despite an impressive intellect, she later studied at UCLA. She never found success in the entertainment world. She worked tirelessly on independent projects, none of which gained recognition. Her personal life was fraught with instability. She suffered from chronic illness that made relationships difficult, and she never married or had children. Estranged from old friends and struggling with financial woes, she spent much of her adulthood battling depression and self-doubt. In 2025, she is 38 years old, living a reclusive life, her days spent reminiscing about a childhood she never quite managed to outgrow, trapped between nostalgia and the harshness of reality. Craig Lamar Traylor played a classroom child in Matilda, 1996, at the age of 7, blending into the background as one of the many students who admired Matilda's intelligence and courage. Though his role was minor, it marked his early steps in Hollywood, later leading to his breakthrough as Stevie Carnarvon in Malcolm in the Middle. However, fame came at a cost. Once the show ended, acting opportunities dwindled, and he struggled with the harsh reality of being a former child star. Without steady work, he turned to art, crafting wire jewelry, but financial insecurity and loneliness plagued him. He never married and became increasingly estranged from his family, battling depression in silence. 2 suicide attempts and several stints in psychiatric care marked his later years. In 2025, at 35, he lives a reclusive existence, occasionally making public appearances, but largely forgotten by an industry that once embraced him. Rachel Snow played Liza in Matilda, 1996. She was 9 years old when she took on the role. Liza was one of Matilda's classmates, known for her friendly and supportive nature. Unlike many of her castmates, Snow never pursued acting again and instead faded into total obscurity. Her adult life was filled with instability. She married young, only for the relationship to crumble under the pressure of financial stress and unspoken resentments. Left to raise her only child alone, she struggled with feelings of inadequacy, watching her dreams slip away while barely making ends meet. Over the years, she worked a string of low-paying jobs, each more unfulfilling than the last. Her mental health suffered greatly, leading to long periods of isolation and self-doubt. In 2025, she is 37 years old, living alone in a small apartment, a forgotten name in Hollywood, her existence a quiet, painful reminder of how quickly childhood dreams can fade into nothing. Who is your favorite character from Matilda? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.